Welcome to, as it says on the screen, the 9th Annual South Carolina User Training Conference. We're pleased to be here. I want to thank a few folks this morning. First of all, I'd like to thank Sheriff Lee Foster for always, the last 3 years, 3 or 4 years, letting us use his facility for our user training conference, and the whole staff at the Newberry Sheriff's Department. They've been really great to work with. Tony Eigner, who's on the staff here, who sang the national anthem, always does a wonderful job. Appreciate him. And Ann for the invocation. I'd like to thank the customers that are in the room and all of the customers of South Carolina. I have to say that we're blessed in a lot of ways, and especially in South Carolina. And the loyalty, and appreciate the loyalty, the support, and the business that you guys provide to us for the last, I guess we started back here, I have to acknowledge Beaufort County, 20 years. We have 3 counties that we've been doing business in for 20 years as WTH-GIS, and we have 1 in South Carolina, and that's Beaufort County. So next year there's several more, and we just started in about 20 years ago. So we're very thankful for that and appreciative. The WTH staff who's in the room, Eric Lowry in the back, raise your hand, Eric. Jason Lane and Ann Yoakum, which most of you I think have met and have an opinion. We want to acknowledge some of the folks back in the office as well. They do a great job of trying to organize and promote and so forth the user conference. Anita and Beverly and the whole staff back in putting the materials together for the conference, and I really appreciate what they do as well. Restrooms are that door, and that door, and there's signage that will allow you to find your way. There is Wi-Fi available, as I understand it. Lowercase training is the password. So if you want to get on there and get that going, that would be great. I think we got a good program for you today. Before we get to that, though, I'd like to take a little bit of time to recognize the people in the room who are our customers. First of all, WTH's mission is to empower local communities with GIS technology. And we are very fortunate at WTH that we have caring people who care about our customers. And that is the mission, helping local communities be more efficient and be better, faster, and smarter in how they do their activities. That's been a mission for 20 years. And we have kept it, and we try to honor that. So that's our big picture. When it comes to the customers, it's time, I think, we always recognize everybody and who's putting on the program, but I'd like to make my remarks today to you and how much I appreciate, and our entire staff at WTH appreciates what you do in your local communities. We believe in and support local government every chance we get. 99% of our customers are local, meaning county or municipality. And I think it's the strength of our political structure in the United States, and I hope that it never goes away. It is closer to the politicians in your area. Like I used to explain to Indiana County Commissioners, they got an average county, small, medium-sized county in Indiana is about 400 square miles, and they have a budget of $40 million. That's like running a $40 million business, which is a pretty good sized business. And you guys in measuring in managing your departments do the same exact thing. And, they say there's 3 certainties in life, Actually, they said 2, death and taxes, but the third one is change. But when it comes to death and taxes, when I think about county government and how it's organized and what the law enforcement and emergency management folks and the dispatchers do in a county, I mean, that's about life and death situations. And they put themselves in danger every day, and they don't know what's going to happen, that day. It's incredible service to the community. Could they be doing something that may make them more money, or live in a different place? I think they could, but they really care about their communities and they give back in that way. I think we honor that as a company and we appreciate all of your services. Taxes, with regard to taxes, our business is divided into 3 market segments: public safety, land information, and infrastructure in a county. So we look at a county and look at those 3 market segments. Land information has been a part of our GIS system from the beginning, which means parcel management and ownership changes and splits and all the things that they do. That's where a lot of the money comes from to be able to operate a county budget, and it differs with every county, but that's a major thing that has to be done right and accurately and fairly. So, hats off to them. Now, when they get the money, then the commissioners or county administrator has to decide how we're going to spend it. You got employees, you've got assets to maintain. It is a major accomplishment for local government to operate and keep people safe, keep water clean, and, give you the services, give us the services in our counties. And, many times, it seems like they ought to have a local government day or something to honor that. We started and did some work in federal government and state government, but the bottom line is all emergencies are local, all the action is local. You guys are the wheel that drives this whole car. And we appreciate it. We honor that today. And I think that that leads me to the GIS kind of bigger picture. When we started 20 years ago, I'm going to the third thing. So we've talked about death and taxes. I'm now going to change. When I started doing land information as an example in our GIS system in 2000 and 2001, in Indiana, there were only 5 out of 92 counties that had digital parcels. They had plat sheets. Everybody in that business remember plat sheets, which is a pencil and, acetate, and that's how you were tracking splits and ownership. Today, all 92 counties have a digital land information parcel management system, and probably 2/3 of them have access to the public through a website. And of course, we do that here in South Carolina as well. That has to be accurate. And as you're doing this job, if anybody has ever talked to the assessor and all the things that they've got to do, it is a big, big job. But when we started with just that, you're matching up tax data with a map. And so the accuracy sometimes is not very good. So everybody has a little bit different accuracy of the data associated with a parcel. So in the next 20 years, that's going to continue to improve. And we're putting an emphasis in the next 5-10 years on what we call data quality management. Are there mistakes in the assessor's records in some cases? Possibly, but it's got to get better. People depend on that data. It's not just assessor data. The other departments of local government and city government depend on that data as well. I mean, so the work that you're doing is not just in your department. It is helping to run the whole entire county. When it comes to, these are foundational layers of a GIS system. When it comes to addresses, addresses are critical to dispatchers to make sure they know where is the emergency and that they can get there as fast as possible. Are they perfect in every county? No. But Next Gen 911, which we'll be talking about a little bit today, is, they're putting forth money and they're putting forth regulations and they're expecting you to be able to improve the quality of your addresses. And this is going to happen, and who knows? I think Eric would probably tell me it's been going on 10 years already, but what's going to happen in the next 10 years? It's going to come. That's that improvement of data and the quality of the data that you're preparing is going to continue the next 20 years. And, you know, when it comes to in the infrastructure area, you know, bridges, roads, culverts, all of that information, every bridge in the United States less than 20 foot in length is inspected by a professional engineer. It's been in place since 1968. Programs are getting better. People are looking a little pickier about bridge data and making sure that it's safe for people to go over. You see the things on the news about water quality in Detroit a few years ago. When it comes to managing water supply and sewer and water and all those things together, it becomes very important decision on life and death decisions and sickness and health. And you guys do all that. You know, there's 35 departments in county government that work together to be able to make it all work at the local level, and we honor that. And I think you deserve more recognition, but I at least wanted to do it in this room today and thank you for your service to your community. You know, my dad was a farmer in northern Indiana, and we had probably 300 acres, wasn't a big farm, milked cows, and Dad said that, you know, he never really felt like he was the owner of the land. He was the steward of the land for the period of time that he owned it according to the records. Somebody owned it before him, somebody's going to own it after he's gone, and, you know, that's what's called stewardship. The same thing is true in county government. You know, you are here doing your department and municipal, both of them. You're doing your job, but you're a steward of that data and you're a steward of the department that you're working in, trying to make it easier for the next person who has to do that job. And I see that when I meet and talk with our customers. That is impressive to me. And we're in 150 counties in primarily 4 states, and I see it all over where we work. It is, as they say, local people are the salt of the earth in these small, medium-sized counties. Now, they've tried to do away with some of that in Indiana, but they've stood strong. And I hope all the counties will and cities will stand strong and not go to the regional approach, especially in rural and small and medium-sized counties. Regionalization just doesn't seem to work as well. And they've been trying for years, 30 years. But I wanted to just say those few things today, and we're going to have a great program. We've got some new things to show you. We've got some new people. Can I see a show of hands of how many is the first time they've been here at our conference? Very good. You know, in a conference like this, it's tough to hit the highs and the lows of every person. You know, so training is difficult in this situation. So when we look at the user conference, especially in Indiana and South Carolina, it's a time to get together, to talk to someone else who may be doing the same job that you're doing, and then to get a little bit of knowledge of what something new or something different. So that's really what you do when you at the breaks and stuff. Talk to your neighbor and try to get to know some new people. They're great people, and I think that we will have a great day today, and looking forward to it. And I'm going to turn it over to Eric and let him go through some of the new things that we've been doing. And feel free to get coffee. And I guess is the breakfast over? Anne's not in here anymore, is she? If you want seconds, I'm sure you can have them.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody. It's so great to be back here with you all again this year. I always look forward to the time that we get to spend together. I think Rex said it right. We're going to have a great day today. Got a lot of things that I think you're going to enjoy as well as learn from. And so the purpose of this session here, this opening session, just to give you kind of the lay of the land for the day, and also, as Rex mentioned, bring you up to speed on a few things that we have been working on. You guys that have been customers of WTH for quite a few years, you know that we always have things percolating back at the office, updates to current software, new software development, etc. So we've got some things to share with you on that front today as well. You guys got a packet as you came in today, so we'll take a quick look at your packet. Just make sure you know everything that you have available to you there today. What we see on the screen now is our agenda for today. And so you'll be able to kind of follow that along. We're going to try very hard to stay on time and on track. Seeing as the clock on the back of the wall says 6:25, I'm not sure how well we'll do that, but we're going to try anyway to stay on track today and get you out of here on time. We know that it's quite a commitment for you to come and travel and be with us all day, so we definitely want to be respectful of your time. You'll also find in your packet a page like this. It's mostly blank. Those of you that have been here before, you know that we kind of wrap up the day with a Q&A session, and we try to address questions, issues, concerns that you guys might have today, and you can use this sheet throughout the day to make notes, write questions on. We'll collect them up around lunchtime, and then we'll be getting together at the end of the day to review them and answer them, and we always do try to save a little extra time for things that might come up after lunch or just follow-ups on what we've discussed. But keep that piece of paper handy throughout the day and make your notes of things that you might want a little additional information on. Last year, we talked with you about this training on demand that we're working on at the office. As Rex mentioned, everyone has different needs in terms of training and information. Everybody's at a different place in their understanding and development, but you all are also in different places in terms of how you use the products. And so we've been working to develop a library of training resources that you can use in addition to speaking with our support staff. We never want you to think that this is intended to replace your connection with the people that you talk to all the time. But there may be times either after hours or may just be times that you are a learner who likes to work through things on your own. We just wanted to give you another set of resources to be able to access information about our products and services, as well as other video resources about things that the company and our customers are doing. So last year we showed you that on our YouTube page and the favorites lists and things that we've created on YouTube. Those are still there, but we've also added a different way, another way for you to access those videos that we think is a nice way to organize it. It might make it easier for you to find some of the things that you're looking for. So if you go to our website, WTH website, and click in the menu for WTH Community. Our WTH Community is you and us together, working together as we always have, and we're adding resources there. And one of the resources that we have, as you'll see in that menu, is video resources. So when you're on that page, this is what you'll see, and in the middle of the page, that's a video player. And so all the videos that you would choose to watch will just be played for you right there on that page. You can choose to expand them to full screen. You could go directly to the YouTube page if you choose to from there. But this is just a nice place where videos can continue to play for you as you choose them, all in one place. And over on the right-hand side, you'll see a video resources menu. Those are topic headers where we're trying to organize those videos into categories that might make it easier for you to find what you're looking for. So if you can see there, you've got Think GIS tutorials, Think AVL tutorials, etc. So we're adding things into topics to make it an easier way for you to look for what you're perhaps wanting to learn about. And then when you select one of those topic headers, then that menu will drop down and show you all of the videos that are available in that topic. And so what we've opened here is the Think GIS tutorials. You see the basic use video, which is our standard training captured in a video for beginners. It's about 45 minutes long or so, and it gives you a great foundational start on how to use Think GIS. You could go to this video anytime, as many times as you choose, and refresh your memory about uses of Think GIS. As well as underneath that, you'll see specific videos about creating addresses and clearing highlights, and etc. All of those are available right there. Clicking on one will bring it right to the page and let you watch it as many times as you like. So we hope that that helps you get access to information in an easier way. One of the things that we're going to talk about today at a fairly high level, because it's brand new, but we think it's something that's really exciting, and we'll be interested in your feedback and see how far along you guys are in terms of staying up with the developments in this 911 industry. We, as you guys know, some of you have more than one partnering relationship to your Think GIS software. We might partner with your police CAD or record software, with your tax and assessment software, and we're always looking for ways to partner with companies that you use and that bring value to your Think GIS. So, I bumped the mouse. I'm going to put this mouse up here so it gets out of my way. So the new announcement for today is that our Think GIS products are going to be interfacing with a relatively new industry partner for 911 called Rapid SOS. How many of you have heard of Rapid SOS at this stage? A few of you? Well, those of you that haven't, I think you will be hearing about them more. And in this afternoon's 911 session, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail about who they are and what they do. But they are one of the new partners for 911 that is bringing additional functionality and some enhancements for data to the 911 center. And so if that's of interest to you, join us in the afternoon session for 911, and you'll learn a little bit more about that and some more details. I think you'll be excited to see what it is that they're doing and how we're going to work together. I already had a discussion this morning about what I want to share with you next. With one of our customers. We get asked often, can we do this? How can we do that? Looking for ways to grow your use of the GIS and technology. And that's very gratifying for us to know that Think GIS and its products and its data become so valuable to you, and you recognize the power of those systems, that you are also looking for new or additional ways to use the systems that you have today. Over the years, we've created a lot of things internally, tools and programs that work with Think GIS. What I'm about to share with you is something that's brand new, so new, in fact, as you see on the screen here, it's got this Think GIS question mark. It doesn't even have a name yet. We're kicking it around because we think it's going to be one of those products that's going to be valuable for every one of our customers in every one of our market segments. I think everybody is going to be able to find a use for this, and we're attempting to design it in such a way that it is flexible enough to be adapted to every one of our customers and every one of our market segments. So you guys are among the first to even know that this is in the pipeline, but I think you're going to be excited about it as well. It's based on some software that we have used on a custom basis for other customers, but we believe that the foundation that it contains is going to be able to be expanded and used in a more general basis for everyone that we have. We are initially looking at it to be designed as a growth of our work order management functions. How many of you guys use our current basic work order functionality in Think GIS today? Anybody? Anybody even know that you have basic work order functionality in Think GIS today? Jason, you pointing at somebody there? Oh, yeah. Raise your, are you not paying attention? Did you miss when I asked the question? You haven't gone to sleep on me already, have you? Okay. Okay, great. Well, I know that there are some folks who are aware that we do have some basic work order functionality. That is, in Think GIS, you can create a specially formatted layer and place points on the map and add some additional data to that to track some basic work order functionality. And that's worked really well for years, but over the years, people have used that, have asked us, can we do this with it? Can we do that with it? And one of the primary holdbacks with it is the ability to easily share data with other users. It creates a layer on your system, but it's not as easy to share that if you have multiple people wanting to have access to the data. So what we've done today with this product is begin to look at how can we make it an expansion of work orders to let more people use it and have access to it. And to that end, what it's becoming is a cloud-based database for tracking information activity. So that rather than that data being stored primarily in your map layer on the individual computer that creates it, now it's going to the cloud so that it can be easily shared. And it's going to a database that's going to give us a lot more functionality and power in terms of managing and handling that data. It's going to allow for the management of data by entering it into the system, as well as for the reporting and analysis of that data with some basic tools within the system itself to allow you to create reports of the information that you enter. It will also give you the ability to create ThinkGIS layers. That's a big part, obviously, of what we do and what you do is to take information and overlay it on a map so that it is visible and you can use the geospatial nature of that system to analyze the data even further. So that will be a function of the system. We had a discussion today, and one of the exciting things about the structure of this program is that it's going to be generic enough that it can be expanded to track all types of information we think that are going to be relative to what the kind of things that you guys do. So, for example, we think it's going to be able to be used to track things like your bridges and culverts at the highway department, your sign inventories. I had a discussion this week with someone who's looking for, and this was not the first time we've had this discussion, looking for a way to manage damage assessment info in emergencies. We think we're going to be able to create forms and let you do that very well as well. Also had a discussion this morning about someone who does things like code enforcement, litter management, etc. The product that this is based on is actually a custom product that we created for a customer who does planning, zoning, code enforcement management, etc. And so, again, this is something that is in the vision for this product in more of a general or generic, generic way. Pardon me. So I'm getting ready to show you the program itself in its current state. What you see here is the basic data entry screen, as well as the data, what we call our common data grid. Those of you who have seen some of our products have seen this grid, and it's a very cool way that we use to be able to access data, sort it, manage it, visualize it, etc. And so we're going to look here in a minute as to how that works. So this is the basic work order grid as it started in the program to be developed. And up at the top are the fields of data that can be added to a work order. Thank you very much. We are going to, as part of the program design, going to create a standard or default work order form that we try to cover the vast majority of requirements for data fields that most people would use for work orders. We also envision that some people might need something customized, and so in addition, later on, we'll be able to create fully customized forms for certain customers. But this is kind of the vision of what the standard form might look like, and it's going to be very simple to use to add a new work order or a new record for anything, whether it's a code violation record or a sign record or anything. You'll have this data entry form that, again, is based on the data that is stored in that system, and you'll be able to, using these forms with a series of pull downs and check boxes, create a new record very quickly. Down in the data grid, that's designed to let you access and sort and visualize all of that information that you collect very, very easily and quickly. The header bar there, that dark kind of bluish green area, that's a way that you can sort the data that works really, really neat. So you take any of those field headers and drag them up into that header bar. And so you can continue to add multiple layers of those searches, and that grid continues to kind of collapse itself together based on the fields that you're sorting. If you can see that there, we've taken the data and sorted it by this work order data by who was assigned to do the work and what type of work it was. So you can then, when those are collapsed, select a single person there, for example, and you open up that, you can see This particular person is Cole. Cole Schock has 228 work orders assigned to him, and they are sorted there by the type of work that he's doing, that he's assigned. So you've got things like locates and installations and et cetera. You can see all of those. You can continue to click down and see, well, he only had one tank inspection, and this was who it was and what date it was, et cetera. And when you select that particular record, then it populates the top of the form to say, well, here's all the information about that particular work order. So it's a great way to manage the data that's available in the system outside the things that you already do with ThinkGIS. There will be some standard reports built into it so that you can get access to data like show me all the work orders I did last month, show me all the work orders that Joe Smith did, et cetera. Just some standard basic reporting that'll be built into the system and also designed around the type of data that's being collected. You'll be able to, one of the most powerful things is to be able to manage your own lists of data. So if you have a field in there, this is an example of problem types that you'd create work orders on. The system will be delivered with a problem type field, but then you'll have the ability to populate that field by all the different types of problems that you might assign a work order to. So that's all becomes part of your customization of the product to fit the way that you do your business. And you'd simply select that field type and then make entries, and you can manage them over time. You can delete ones that you no longer use. You can edit them, et cetera. But you manage all of those lists internally there inside the program. So that being said, showing that to you very early in our design process for a couple of reasons, primarily just to get your feedback. Does that seem like something that might be helpful to you? Talking through it and kind of describing our vision for it, is there something that you think you might be able to use a program like that for? Don't all speak at once. Yes, okay, there you go. He's back. So what strikes you as something that you might be able to use it for?
We've been actually working on something recently. So you can start searching the work order by date, like industry data or the data of the signs and a lot of
Yeah, you're exactly right. That's why it's the building of it on a database is going to make that kind of thing much, much easier. And that data grid will let you search it by any of the fields that you've got. So yes, I think you're right. I think it will be much easier for you to manage whatever you need to do with that information, whether you need to sort it or query it or pull it up. I think it will be very much easier. I think you're right. Anybody else see anything? We talked a little bit about doing some of our tracking of the code enforcement kind of things. So does this make sense to you, and does it seem like something that would work for you guys? Yeah, very good. So we'll continue to keep you guys posted as that comes closer and closer to our initial testing and release, but we think it's going to be something that will be valuable for a lot of folks. Okay, want to give you a quick update here on thinkgis.com. We've been talking about it for a while, and we've got some things that have happened in the last few months especially that are very exciting, and we think you're going to like what you see as well. And we've talked for some time about actually deploying thinkgis.com out in the wild, if you will, and that's begun to happen as well. So I'm going to fill you in a little bit on that. One of the latest things that we've been doing is creating the ability to add what we're calling live data to the thinkgis.com map. Live data are things that you guys, many of you are using already today. That is data that changes very, very frequently, not just your base map data like your streets and parcels and addresses, but these are things like your vehicle tracking if you're doing AVL, as your vehicles drive around. Things like your calls for service from 911, from CAD, or your 911 calls themselves. Things like your event manager events, things that come and go and are managed in a dynamic or a live way. We're working on getting that ability added to thinkgis.com. We've started by connecting thinkgis.com to our Think AVL. And doing that for a couple of reasons: that we control the Think AVL, we know how that data is managed, we know how we have access to it, and we know how thinkgis.com needs that data. So it was a logical place for us to start, and we have a lot of customers that are using Think AVL. And so that connection has been built, and it's being tested, and it's working really pretty well. A couple of the neat things about it: not only does it display the vehicles and the locations, but it also has access to what we call enhanced AVL. So those of you who have AVL and have it connected to your dispatch software, for example, where your dispatch software will change the vehicle label or the vehicle icon color or data that is supplied alongside the vehicle from the CAD, all of that is also being passed to thinkgis.com. So just like your ThinkGIS desktop today, where you don't have to manually make those changes on the map when something happens relative to a vehicle in your dispatch software, that also automatically changes out on thinkgis.com as well. And once we get that completed and working, I think to where we're satisfied that it's all solid and working well, that is going to open up then for us. We're going to use the same methods that we've used to connect Think AVL to connect thinkgis.com to other live sources of data as well. So those would be things, as I'd mentioned before, like your calls for service, active calls from your CAD software, or your enhanced auxiliary 911 calls. I'm going to pause here and also give another plug for the 911 session in the afternoon. How many of you guys who are PSAPs 911 have a 911 interface for ThinkGIS? How many of you are using the auxiliary 911 call display? How many of you even know there is such a thing as the auxiliary 911 call display? Not too many. So again, those of you who are in 911, be sure to attend the 911 session this afternoon. You'll learn something that's very, very cool. And it's also going to be ported over into thinkgis.com. Things like your event manager events. So if you add something to Event Manager today, as it also is able to be shared to the public web GIS, it will now also be able to be shared to thinkgis.com. So I'm going to show you a couple of screen grabs here of the system that's in place. I was going to show it to you live today, but because it is in testing, today we have part of it down to make an update to bring it back up, and so it's not live, but these are some screen captures from just the other day as to how it looks. And so you can see the vehicles there kind of in the screen. They are similar vehicle icons to what might be used today, so that you have consistency in your user experience. You know, on your desktop out here to .com, you'll be able to see a similar display so that it makes sense to you and what you're used to seeing. The data, just like you have today, if you click on a vehicle in your ThinkGIS desktop, the data is also available out here on .com, so you can see things from your enhanced AVL. You can see the last time the vehicle moved, who's assigned to it, if you've got that CAD interface, etc. But one of the neat things that we've added here to .com is this ability to track the unit, similar to what we're doing on the desktop, except this is tracking a unit in the map itself. If you click that little button, that little blue kind of compass looking button down here in your information window, that tells thinkgis.com that I want to remain focused on this particular vehicle. And so it brings that vehicle to the center of the screen, and as long as that is active, the map will stay focused on that vehicle, and the map will continue to adjust itself to keep that vehicle in the center of the screen. So that is just the beginning of a test of the kind of additional functionality that will come along with the system over time. We'll be able to add more and more functionality that's currently available in ThinkAVL and ThinkGIS as it uses live vehicles. We'll be bringing more of that over into the thinkgis.com. as we've told you several times, one of the focuses for thinkgis.com is to make it give you an excellent user experience on small devices, phones and tablets, etc. So I'm going to show you here. This is a screen grab of the ThinkAVL display on my phone. And so as you've seen ThinkAVL on phones or devices in the past, you can see that those vehicles come and display on the phone very, very well, very nicely. And all that same functionality is available on the phone as it is on the larger screens. So we really think that's going to be a lot of value for people who have ThinkAVL today and want to be able to, from the field, just pull up my phone and see where my fleet is and be able to get additional information about my fleet, who's assigned to what call, what status are they on, etc. Also see that alongside the things that you're looking at now in dispatch. Where is my fleet relative to where I've placed events in Event Manager, or where 911 calls are happening, or where my calls for service are. Being able to have this full view of what's happening very easily from your phone in a screen setup that is easy to see is going to be a lot of value. And that's going to come pretty quickly now that we've got this initial foundation done for live layers. So here's a general update on thinkgis.com as a whole product. So version 1.0, our first release version, is proven to be very, very stable, and it's working very, very well. And it is already live with one municipal utility customer in Indiana. It has been for several months. They've been using it on a daily basis out in the field. Their teams are using it to find their utility resources as they're out in the field, find their things like their mains, their hydrants, their valves, all the things that utility folks look for. They're able to see that in their thinkgis.com, pull it right up on their phone, get additional data about those things, etc. And that's working very, very well. They have allowed us to move forward then to look for additional customers in other states and other market segments to continue to expand this early adopter deployment phase that we're in today. And those of you that have been to the conferences or have heard over the last year or two, this early adopter program is up and running now. We've been talking about it for some time, and we want you to let us know if you're interested in becoming a part of that program. And we'd like to let you in on the details. We want you to reach out to Rex and express your interest. Let him know that that's something that you guys would like to explore as a customer. And when you do that, then we'll be able to give you some more details about how that works, talk to you about your specific use cases, the kind of things that we and you would want us to build into a map for you, and talk about what that would take to take you guys live as an early adopter. So that being the case, reach out to Rex today, or if you know how to contact him by email, or you can reach out to one of us and we can put you guys in touch. But we're looking for, because our first rollout has gone very well, we're looking for the next few folks to bring online in our early adopter program. We have in the past used social media at our conferences to let other folks who weren't here know what's going on and let them know what they missed, and we're going to continue to do that today. And we use our hashtag of WTHUC 2019 throughout the year, so that at the end of a year, if you just want to know the kind of things that happened at user conferences and what customers have said, that's a hashtag that you can use to search Facebook or search Twitter to kind of see what we've done. One of the things that we kicked around a little bit, and by we, I guess I mean me, wondered whether we might want to consider, do any of you guys either use or consume Facebook Live videos from different events or different things? Just a few of you. We haven't done that before, and it almost takes someone to be sort of dedicated to do that while the rest of us are doing presentations. So we're not really sure whether we could pull that off today or not. Kicking around some ways maybe to, since we have a little bit more resources at our Indiana user conference, maybe doing a little bit more of it there. But if we were to do something like that, how many of you think if you weren't at the event that you might, if you had opportunity to tune into a live video from our Facebook to see what might be happening? Anybody would be interested in doing that? A couple of you? You know, that helps us to figure out too, is that something we even want to take time and spend to do? It does take some investment of time and resources to make that happen. But sometimes you can get some interesting things, and you know, we want to use it to encourage more people to come to the conference rather than say, well, I'm just going to sit at home and watch it on video, you know. But you never know how we might use more of those kind of resources, either through social media or through our website or through other things. A little bit like our training video library. We're trying to develop ways to give you access to all of the information that we could possibly share with you that's of value and of interest to you. So appreciate your feedback on that, and we'll continue to think about that.
We hope you found this training session beneficial and to your liking. If you have further questions, please contact us at 888-225-5984 or email us at support@wthgis.com.